Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whatever, whenever you are watching this. I hope you are well and are excited to get moving into live lesson number 6. Today we are going to be focusing on our first phenomena. So we're going to apply the scientific thinking process of the scientific method to our first content-related phenomena. So some reminders first before we begin. Please make sure that you're checking assignments from previous weeks for comments and grades. I am looking at each of those things and giving you the opportunity to fix or make right something if it is not up to the expectation that I have set for it. So please make sure that you're using these opportunities that I'm giving you and the time that I'm giving you to kind of get everything in order and taken care of. Remember our expectations of being safe, responsible, respectful, prepared, and here, students, ready to give your best effort and to be your best in this moment with us now. If you show up to a live lesson, we are following the 2 mutes and a boot. Shouldn't be a problem. And we are ready today in particular to be participating and sharing out our thoughts as we go through today's lesson. So thank you guys again. I will say this every single day. I'm super appreciative of the effort and the time and the quality of the work that we're putting in. Let's keep up that effort as we move into the end of week 3 and into week 4. So as a heads up, you should have already completed the Ed puzzle for our week 3 preview. If you are in the live lesson on Tuesday or you had to watch the recorded lesson, you have worked through then number 12, identifying the scientific method Ed puzzle, where you chose between either the edge control or the shark experiments, where you are identifying the scientific method within it. And now today we are going to be doing our first phenomena. So if you are watching this, that means you were not in the live lesson on Thursday or Friday. And this is how you're going to participate to get the content that will allow you then to do the last 2 assignments, number 13, which is a reflection question on Google Classroom, and number 14, which is a check for understanding quiz. So as we get started, let's start with a tank check. Where is your tank at right now? So we're going to be breaking down and thinking about our first phenomena, and everything that we're trying to do it with our scientific brain working. So our first phenomena is all going to relate to this central question that guides this first unit that we're focusing on. Where does all the energy and matter in the universe come from? So our focus question that we're looking at specifically today is, why are we considered star stuff, or the children of stars? So maybe you've heard that statement before, or maybe this is the very first time that you have. But what is your first impression of this question? So I'm kind of forcing your hand that this is your observation, but I call you a child of the stars, or I call you made of star stuff. This is our observation, and now we want to do a little bit of research, and so that we can form a hypothesis and do some exploring to figure out the answer to this. So your research, we find that the man who said this, that we are children of the stars, or that we are star stuff, is this guy named Carl Sagan. And he is a contemporary to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who maybe you've heard of before. So we're going to watch the video where he first coined this phrase. And while we're watching it, you want to think of some things that you notice and wonder, because I'm going to make you write those down in a second.
The lives and deaths of the stars seem impossibly remote from human experience, and yet we're related in the most intimate way to their life cycles. The very matter that makes us up was generated long ago and far away in red giant stars. A blade of grass, as Walt Whitman said, is the journey work of the stars. The formation of the solar system may have been triggered by a nearby supernova explosion. After the sun turned on, its ultraviolet light poured into our atmosphere, its warmth generated lightning, and these energy sources sparked the origin of life. Plants harvest sunlight, converting solar into chemical energy. We and the other animals are parasites on the plants, so we are, all of us, solar powered. The evolution of life is driven by mutations. They're caused partly by natural radioactivity and cosmic rays, but they are both generated in the spectacular depths of massive stars thousands of light years distant. Think of the sun's heat on your upturned face on a cloudless summer's day. From 150 million kilometers away, we recognize its power. What would we feel on its seething, self-luminous surface, or immersed in its heart of nuclear fire? And yet, the sun is an ordinary, even a mediocre star. Our ancestors worshipped the sun, and they were far from foolish. It makes good sense to revere the sun and the stars, because we are their children. We have witnessed the life cycles of the stars. They are born, they mature, and then they die. As time goes on, there are more white dwarfs, more neutron stars, more black holes. The remains of the stars accumulate as the eons pass. But interstellar space also becomes progressively enriched in heavy elements, out of which form new generations of stars and planets, life and intelligence. The events in one star can influence a world halfway across the galaxy and 1 billion years in the future.
All right. So, what was something that you noticed during this video? All right. And what was something that you were wondering about, or what was a question that popped in your head? So, like I said, this Carl Sagan man was a physicist who thought about the origins of the universe and the origins of matter and energy in the universe. So, our little bit of background research of who said we are the children of the stars or considered star stuff presents us with this man who has spent obviously a lot of time thinking about where does all the matter and energy in our universe come from. So, next we need to kind of form a hypothesis, our first idea about this question, about what this question might mean and how we might be able to answer it. So, if you could, please write a hypothesis. You can write it in your if then, because that's how we write a hypothesis, or you can also just say, my idea or claim is that. And answer this question based on our little bit of research and those thoughts that you are having. All right, so that is your form of a hypothesis, right? Again, we are working through the scientific method as we approach this idea of what the heck do you mean when I say that I'm star stuff or the children of the stars? So the cool thing is that over the course of the next couple weeks with this unit, we're going to hopefully be able to understand and answer this question. Why are we considered star stuff or the children of stars? But what else are we going to need to talk about or understand to better answer this question in the end run? So what I'd like you to do now is use one of these sentence starters. It would help if I knew what if scientists collected information about. I could support my idea if I had an idea about, or if I had data about, or we could get a better evidence we could, and use that to answer. Actually, I'll slide over. That's not really much to do either. We could get better evidence if we, but answer what else do we need to know to be able to answer this question? Again, over the course of this unit, we're going to gather different pieces of evidence that are going to allow us to answer that. And that's really, really cool and represents what we're supposed to be doing in science. So now you have 2 assignments that should be posted for you. Number 13, which is a question which you are going to answer using my sentence structure, kind of like we did last week for the assignment where you explained how you are like a scientist. And then you have your check for understanding quiz, which is posted as well. Remember that you do need, the idea is that you want to get all of the other work done first before you do that check for understanding quiz. All right, let's leave with this. How did you like this lesson? And I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.